Kierce from 24i, and I'm here virtually with Martijn van Horssen, CEO of 24i. During this unprecedented time in the world, we are here to talk about how the media industry is coping and how 24i specifically is doing through this, and how we're able to help and work with our clients during this time. So, Martijn, hello.
Hi, Greg. Good to see you virtually.
Yes, good to see you virtually as well. Yeah, a couple questions for you, and we'll kind of keep this pretty conversational. So, which 24i customers do you think have responded particularly well to the challenges that COVID-19 has brought on?
So I think what you see is actually almost all our clients see a big uptake in their usage. People are more home. So when you're more home, you're watching more video. Normally you may went to a restaurant or went to some sport activities, and now you're home watching television. So we see a tremendous growth with all our clients. And that is something that I think is obvious, but some are doing better than others in the way that they approach it. So I think, of course, we have some clients as public broadcasters. They do really well because they broadcast live all the announcements of the government. Here, for instance, in the Netherlands, but also in Ireland, we see a big uptake in that. But also in services like PureFlix, faith and family-based content. Also, kids are home a lot, so they watch a lot more video. And Broadway HD, I think that's our success story in these strange times. It's a story that in its sense is quite good in these times because they help out a lot of people. Broadway HD is a service for watching Broadway shows, and now the theaters are closed, so all those people still want to watch the shows, but also the theaters don't want to lose their viewers. So they made it possible to take a subscription, and now even it's for theater goers, it's free to watch shows online. And there we see a tremendous growth in the usage of the application because they can't go to the theater, but they still want to consume the content.
Has that caused an uptick in their business? How have they been doing through that?
So we started, I think, February, March-ish. And now, then of course, COVID started and you saw a huge uptake in the number of subscribers, but also in the way that they promote their service. I think they were really creative in doing that. One of the things they did is, for instance, Hugh Jackman was announcing a Watch Together party so that everybody was watching the same title at the same moment, just when it was released. And we saw hundreds of thousands of streams starting at the same time that the people are watching. So that was a big success, especially with everybody logging in. It's always a difficult process, but together with Kling, we made it happen. And now by seeing the impact of such an announcement of, for instance, Hugh Jackman, that means that you need to make sure that you are enabling your service to have such peak growth. We make sure that people are standby. We scale up the infrastructure just to be sure that everything is going well.
So there have been reports saying that the gains that these services have made, so Broadway HD and similar services, they've been saying that these are shorter term gains. What do we think about that? And how could service providers avoid making these short term gains?
Well, we already discussed that people can't do anything else at this moment, right? You can't go to your sports, you can't go to a restaurant. So it's obvious that there is more viewers right now. But I think the change of habit, people are discovering new content and they are going deep in the catalog of the services that they have. So people are discovering new things and I think they will change their habits. I think one of the things you need to do is promote how good your service is and what kind of content you have so that they discover more content in your application, and also make sure that now is the time to make sure that you optimize the service, for instance, with churn reduction software, stuff like that, to see why people are churning. That definitely will be churn. But I think you can reduce that tremendously if you address your viewers correctly. So to have the right service, the right interface is really important, and make sure that you promote your content. And I think then you will benefit. And it's an uncertain time. We don't know how long this will take. Will it be now only in summer and then afterwards we'll go back to normal life, or will it be for a longer period? And I think myself, this will change the world for a longer period. So it will change our habits indefinitely, and that is something that I think OTT services can gain from, and we can help people that are at home.
While everyone has been home and while viewership for OTT services has been going up, is there anything that 24i has been doing specifically with regard to COVID-19?
Well, I think what we see is that there are a lot of people that are not seeing relatives or are not seeing their friends and family in real life. So I think there are a few things that we're now trying out. And I already talked about Broadway HD. Make sure that you have watch together events is something that is that's really interesting. But also some of our clients are now experimenting with actual watch together functionalities, so that you can sync content, make sure that you watch at the same time, you can talk about it, but that it feels if you are next to each other watching the content. We have now something in the Netherlands we are piloting, and I think those are the things that are good. And with regards to 24i, is one of the important things is that if you are peaking your usage, you need to make sure that the peak can be catched by the infrastructure. And that is something that if you prepare that really well, then the impact is zero. And that is what we do for our clients to make sure that we have a specific support package that we do. But also we think that our client base needs to understand which kind of new functionality we have in our application. So we try to educate them, for instance, on Backstage, our layout management tool, to understand what are the capabilities that they might not use every day. If you want to fight this together, you need to stay at home. And in order to make your lives better at home, that's what we can provide. So we're now doing quite well in this situation, and I think the whole OTT industry is doing quite successful, although we don't know exactly what will happen with advertisement income. Now it is significantly dropped, so SVOD services are doing really well. Advertisement services are now struggling, and for instance, also with blockbuster content, the cinemas are closed, so we see now they're directly introduced, but new movies are now not being produced. So there will be gaps or slower gain in new content, right?
You'd brought up that AVOD is struggling a little bit more than SVOD. Is that maybe because people are figuring that they're going to be watching more content, so they see SVOD as more of an investment? Is it something around that?
No, it's well, maybe, but primarily it's the ad inventory is just way lower, because you're not going to advertise with regards to go on holidays or make sure that a lot of the general ads are not there anymore, because why should you ad for something like travel if you can't travel, right? So you see that they're just, especially at the beginning, there was a huge drop. Now we see a little bit of an uptake again on the inventory, because we still buy goods, we still do our groceries, but there are industries that are non-existent at this moment, so they don't advertise, and that's something that has a big effect on AVOD services. And that's why we also, with a lot of customers, we try to figure out if there's a possibility to have multiple revenue models in one application, so that you're not relying only on AdVOD or only an SVOD or an AVOD. You should make sure that you have a different business models and try them out.
All right, so we've talked a lot about what we've done at 24i during this time. Is there anything that you can say as far as what's next, what we're planning to do in the near future?
So we couldn't have foreseen this. I think if you see the impact of the crisis is much more than we thought at the beginning, of course, when it started. And now we don't know what the future will bring. The only thing that we know is that we need to make sure that our own people are happy, that they feel comfortable with that, and that we try to see what this new world will bring. Again, this will not be for only a few months. This will something that will have an impact for maybe years, and you don't know how everybody will will change their behaviors. So that means that continuously we need to make sure that we do innovation, that we measure what people are doing, and make sure that we think on helping people, make sure that we service clients in a way that they can still do and run their business, but then in a new economy, in a new world. And for that, I think our innovations are extremely important, and make sure that we talk with our clients, and that we do these kinds of things that we do right now. We are one of the first to do this together, but you will do others with our colleagues. And I think it's important to follow what the others have to say. This was a COVID-19 story, but the others will talk much more about the product, about how we see the business, how we see some things on technology. I think that's important. And with missing out on all the trade shows, that we can't see our industry friends and talk to people, that means that you need to alter your business. And I think that's not something only for 24i, but that's something for the industry. And we really want to help understand what will be successful in this new day and era in also doing business, to make sure that we learn from each other and that we can make sure that we all come out stronger in the end. And that's something that we are working really hard for.
Thanks so much, Martijn. I think that's probably as good a time as any to tell our viewers at home, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching and for, I guess, staying home. And if you want to watch more content from 24i, if you want to hear more about what 24i has been up to, please visit us on our website, 24i.com. Thanks so much, Martijn.
Thanks, Greg. Bye.